Hi everyone, it's Blake again with North Winds Wilderness School. Welcome back to another one of our installments. Is that what you call it? I don't know. Earlier this winter, I made a video about starting a fire with a flint and steel. And, you know, no matter how many methods of fire starting I learn, I'm pretty good at hand drill, pretty good at bow drill. I can do a ferro rod. I've made fire with a fire saw. There's always something that brings me back to the flint and steel. It will always be my favorite way to start fires. It probably has something to do with how I learned the flint and steel. It was one of my earliest mentors taught it to me when I was 12 years old. And essentially the way he taught me was he sent one home with me and said, come back when you can do it. You know, he offered me a little guidance, but it was mostly trial and error until I figured it out. This is Charcloth. It's an integral part of starting a fire with a flint and steel. And simply what this is burnt denim. You set it right on the edge of the rock. If you can find a sharp spot on the rock. That orange glow is your ember. That's how you make fire with a flint and steel. You don't have to use charcloth. You can use birch polypore or chaga with just a little bit of char on them. Or you can cook cattail fluff or cedar bark the same way that you cook charcloth. But traditionally, charcloth is what has mostly been used by people who made fire with a flint and steel. After our flint and steel video from earlier this winter, we had several people ask us about charcloth. What is it? How do you make it? How do you use it? So today we're going to show you the method that we use for making charcloth. And we've been using this method for 30 years. So it's tried and true. And this is actually how we do it. Let's go take a look. I'll show you what we've got. So in the true nature of 21st century Americans, we store our charcloth in plastic. It's not natural, it's kind of ugly, but it keeps your charcloth dry. And this stuff needs to be bone dry. This is what we cook it in. This is just an old cookie tin with some nail holes poked in it. This batch we just finished a little while ago. You can see all the carbon is cooked out of it and it's black, but it's not crumbling. If it comes out crumbling, you have overcooked it. Let me show you how we pack it in. This is just a strip of denim cut out of a pair of old jeans. You can't use new jeans. They have a fire retardant in them. They have to have been worn and washed a whole bunch of times to wash that fire retardant out. And when we're folding this, you don't want to roll it. It makes it difficult to work with after it's cooked. What we're gonna do is fan fold it. So we're gonna fold it one way, then the other, then the other, then the other. And what this does is after it's cooked, here's a piece, here's a piece, here's a piece, here's a piece. So you can tear off 1 or 2 sheets at a time per fire that you're making. So we're gonna fold back and forth for the entire length of your strip of denim. Once you've got it folded, you take your tin, and you stick it in there. You want it to be packed, but not packed super tight. Once your tin is packed fairly full, you just put the lid on. Now, this lid has several holes punched in it. In a second, we're gonna put this in the fire and you'll see little flames come up out of here. When those flames stop is when you take it out. So when you put this in the fire, you wanna make sure it's all the way in there. Just setting it on the edge isn't gonna do it. This has to get pretty hot. So we're gonna put this into the fire and then I'm gonna push it in and kind of pull this stick down on top. And we're gonna kind of pack the fire in around it. That thing has to cook for a while. There's smoke coming out now. Oh, and the flames have just started. You see all that smoke shooting out of there? That's what we're looking for. While that's cooking, I'm just going to show you a slideshow of the whole process from a pair of jeans to finished Charcloth. Well, this has been sitting here for about 45 minutes. Let's take a look and see what we've got. All right, so I haven't checked this yet. It's gonna be a surprise to all of us. Look at that. Perfect Charcloth. This is what each roll looks like after it comes out. Nice and charred and black, but not crumbly. Let me go grab a flint and steel and we'll see how it works. So notice that we're putting the Charcloth on top of the rock. That's because when you strike the steel to the rock shaves little pieces of steel off and they fly up. So this is a piece we just cooked. Let's see how it works. It would be helpful if I could make sparks. Never mind. Do you see the glow? Perfect Charcloth. And it really is just that simple. Let me get rid of this. It's hot. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. As always, I appreciate that you're busy, and it really means a lot to me that you're taking the time to spend with us. If you've learned anything from this video, or if you have a lot of experience with the flint and steel, maybe leave us a comment, tell us what your experience has been. If you found any value in this video, please find a friend to share it with. And I think that's all for us, so thank you very much. Have a great day.